Today I'm at the Bentonville Farmers Market and we're gonna get some things to make for our lunch. We're gonna make a tomato cucumber salad. There's a lot of tomatoes and cucumbers in season right now, so we're gonna grab that up and I'm gonna show you how to make the yummiest tomato cucumber salad. Can I take your picture? Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna add squash, zucchini, mashed potatoes, I think some cantaloupe. I used to have a food truck. It was amazing. And I was just walking by here, right where we used to be set up, and somebody recognized me. We used to be set up right here, and we would have lines so long. And I would get food from the farmer's market and cook it. It was called Kind Kitchen. So now I teach Polistic Yoga full time, but part of my YouTube channel, because I have a passion for cooking, is sharing recipes. So today I'm sharing a recipe that I've got from the farmer's market, all with local food. Hey there, beautiful friend. We are back in the kitchen. I am Jen, founder of Polistic Yoga, and I just got back from the farmer's market, and I am here to show you what we're gonna make with these things here in front of us. I live in Bentonville, Arkansas, and we have an amazing farmer's market. So if you ever come through Bentonville on a Saturday, be sure to go by there. And that's why I'm here to share this recipe with you today. And it's gonna be a super, super simple summer recipe that you can do with the farmer's market. We're not gonna do anything crazy or too fancy. I'm just gonna show you how to quickly make a meal with what you see in front of you so you can feed your family that local food that's really amazing for them. We're gonna mash the potatoes. We're gonna make a salad with the bell peppers, tomatoes, and cucumbers. We're gonna boil up these green beans. We're gonna use the green onions in our salad and chop some up for the top of our mashed potatoes. We're gonna have the watermelon, cantaloupe, and berries on the side with a little fruit salad. All right, before we get going, be sure to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and hit that notification bell so you stay up to date every time I post here on YouTube. And if you have any questions or want a recipe veganized or made gluten-free, drop it in the comments below. I think there's a myth that eating vegan and gluten-free is hard, or you lack taste, or it's super expensive. So I'm here to bust all of those myths, and it also doesn't take a lot of time either. I'm gonna make all of this up in less than an hour, and it's gonna be nutritious and healthy and tasty. In my opinion, that's the most important part, that we like our food and that it tastes good, because that's really gonna inspire you to wanna keep these healthy habits. So let's get going. I'm super hungry after shopping today, and I'm excited to share this with you. We're gonna start by cutting up our fruit. I have a little one here, and she is super excited to eat, so I'm gonna go ahead and chop this fruit up first and give her a little fruit salad while I'm making the rest of the meal. All right, we're gonna start by cutting up our cantaloupe. Look how beautiful that is. And I'm only gonna cut half of it today, and I'm gonna wrap the other half and save it in the refrigerator for a different time. So you just wanna scoop those seeds out. And what's really fun, if you have a compost, you could put these in there and you could start seeing some cantaloupe sprout, or you can just go put them in your backyard and maybe you'll get some sprouts out of these. So when I cut my cantaloupe, I don't peel it first. Let me know in the comments if you peel your cantaloupe first. Maybe you do it different. I'd love to hear how you do it. Okay, so there's our bowl of cantaloupe. Okay, so now we're gonna start with our watermelon. Same thing with the watermelon. I'm gonna put the other half in the refrigerator for a later date. And I'm gonna cut it just the same way. Just gonna cube it up. And I prefer the seeded watermelon. If you want to take the time and pick the seeds out for your guests, you can do that. But I don't see any problem in letting them do it themselves. The seeded watermelon, I think, is better for you. Okay, so here's our fruit bowl. And if you want this a little sweeter, you can always add a little agave or honey. And this is going to make a great little appetizer to start the meal. Here we go. Here is a fruit salad. I'm going to go ahead and serve this up to my daughter while I'm making this video. Next, we're going to get started with the potatoes. I want to show you this trick. If you take a wet washcloth or a wet rag, put it under your cutting board won't slide around. Controversial in the mashed potato world, and it's skin on or skin off. Now, I really prefer skin on, and unless I use organic potatoes, which is what I really try to use all the time, I do not use skin. But these skins are very thin on these. So I'm going to use them because I really like the taste of the skin in my mashed potatoes. And for my mashed potatoes, some people boil the potatoes whole. It's just going to make it boil a little longer. And I just kind of cut off the little imperfections there. Some people use a potato peeler. I do not. I actually don't like potato peelers at all. My grandma would use one little tiny knife, and she could cut them so thin with this tiny little knife, and it actually had an indentation from her thumb. So I grew up on mashed potatoes. I am from south of here, central Arkansas, and I would say that my family are very southern. I had this debate not too long ago. Is Arkansas considered the South? Some people apparently do not think that we are, but I guess they've just never been here. Because I definitely consider where I was raised part of the South. And I'm going to make these mashed potatoes, of course, vegan. So I get a lot of questions how we do that. That's why I'm showing you today how you can make your mashed potatoes vegan. It's really easy. We're just going to use milk and butter, and instead of using cow's milk and butter, we're going to use non-dairy milk and butter. Super simple. And some people like their mashed potatoes really creamy. Some people like them really lumpy and thick. I kind of like them like right in the middle. And I'm not making up very many. This is just for my daughter and I. And we eat a lot of mashed potatoes. We love mashed potatoes. So I'm just kind of cutting off the little imperfections there. And then once all these are cut off, my water is boiling. I'm going to take and I'm going to soak these in water. Now we're going to start our green beans. And to snap green beans, you take one end off. The other end, this is going to be your choice whether you leave it long or put it in half. I'm going to put it in half again so that it will cook a little quicker. You can even do 2 at a time. And on these super long ones, if you want to cut it in thirds, snap it in thirds, you can. Okay, so the water is boiling now, so we're going to go ahead and start these green beans. Okay, so I rinsed off these mashed potatoes. We're going to get these started. And popping those green beans only took as long to boil the water. So it really didn't take that long to snap your own green beans. I'm just going to do 2. I'm going to soak them in water while I make the salad. Cannot recall what kind of tomatoes he said these were, but he said that they were the best. Look at that. Look how juicy that is. Now we're going to do the cucumber. And again, I don't like potato peelers, cucumber peelers, and I like leaving a little skin on there. So I just use my knife, just a little bit. And if you're getting the cucumbers that are from the store that have that coating on the outside, you definitely don't want to eat the skin. That's one reason I buy organic, shop local. It's because they don't have the pesticides on the skin. The skin actually has a lot of nutrients in it. And I also like that it gives it a little extra texture and flavor, so I don't cut it all off. Don't leave it all on there so it's not too overpowering, because some people don't like the skin. Again, that goes back to that controversy with the potatoes. Put some bell pepper in here now. Smells so good. I'm just going to use 2. Okay, I'm going to put this salad in the refrigerator, and then once I pull it out to serve it, I'm going to toss it with a little bit of salt and pepper, and then we're going to use this as our topping on it. And I got this from Aldi. I love green onions on my mashed potatoes, so I'm going to go ahead and chop some of these up, and then we are going to cook our squash and zucchini. There we go. The squash and zucchini, just going to use a little bit of olive oil, just a tiny bit. Let that heat up. And this meal is very, very simple. You can add other spices. You could add batter to this and like deep fry your squash. That's kind of a southern thing that we do here in the South, but I don't really fry foods, so I'm just going to lightly saute it. And I'm going to put salt. The cayenne pepper, I prefer cayenne pepper to black pepper. It's more digestible and it's actually healing for your body. At the very end, I'm going to sprinkle some nutritional yeast on the top. I love nutritional yeast. Gives it kind of that cheesy, nutty flavor. And nutritional yeast is also high in B vitamins. So we're going to saute this up for just a few minutes. We've got our green beans that are almost done. Our mashed potatoes are almost boiled. This has taken us about 30 minutes so far, so it really hasn't taken us this long. And this is going to be a full meal, so you can use this for lunch, dinner. Do you call it dinner or supper? The last meal of the day, what do you call it? Okay, so we're going to saute this up and just let it go for a moment. Okay, so these have been sauteing. I got a text, so I stepped away, and they got a little bit more darker than I would have probably chosen if I was just standing here watching them. That's okay. We're going to pour quite a bit of nutritional yeast on here. We're going to saute it up. I love nutritional yeast. Do you? I want a little bit more. I've probably used a good 1/4 of a cup. I use quite a bit here. But if you don't like nutritional yeast, you don't have to do it. To me, it just kind of takes away that slimy texture that squash and zucchini can have. I'm going to turn this off. And our mashed potatoes have a little bit longer, so we're going to wait on those, and then we're going to mash them up. Our green beans are done. So now we are just waiting on our potatoes to finish boiling. To have boiled these a little bit quicker, we could have cut them in smaller pieces. Okay, so I drained off the water from the mashed potatoes, and I'm going to use some of this non-dairy buttery spread from Aldi. Going to use about 2 tablespoons. Actually, I'm going to use about 3. I love buttery potatoes. And then we're going to use some of this unsweetened almond milk. And like I said before, I do not like my mashed potatoes extra, extra runny. So I'm just going to use a dash, just a tiny, tiny bit. And then I'm going to add a little bit of salt and a tiny bit of pepper. Again, I'm going to use cayenne here. My daughter does not like pepper, so I'm not going to use that much. And if you prefer black pepper, you can use that as well. Okay, now it's time to plate it up. Yum, yum. We're gonna have our salad, and I'm gonna add just a little bit of salt, a little bit of this balsamic glaze to the top. Yum, so it's just very simple. This is all very, very simple. And then I'm going to top my mashed potatoes here with these green onions. Here is our meal. Now the fruit salad, I ate all of that. My daughter and I ate all of that while we were cooking. So I've already eaten my fruit salad, which I showed you that bowl earlier. So that was my appetizer. And then while this is cooling, I'm gonna eat my cucumber tomato salad. If you wanna add cheese, that non-dairy mozzarella or cheddar cheese from Aldi is amazing. Also, Whole Food has some really yummy non-dairy feta cheese that would be really good in here. If you do dairy, you can add any kind of cheese that you want in here. Mozzarella or feta is also really, really yummy in here. And then I'm also gonna add just a little bit of salt to my green beans because we didn't really season those, we just boiled those. And I'm gonna add a tiny bit of cayenne. I love cayenne, in case you haven't noticed. In your water for your green beans, if you wanna also add just a dash of maple syrup, if you like things a little sweeter, you can do that as well. So let's dig in. So I'm gonna tell you that this squash and zucchini is absolutely amazing. I already ate about half of the pan while I was sitting there waiting for the potatoes to boil. So good. So good. That nutritional yeast makes it a little crispy on the outside. I can't even describe the texture to you. It's almost like, it's so sweet. It's almost like the inside of one of those chocolate donuts, like cake donuts. The potatoes are perfection. And as you can see, you cannot see a lot of the skin on there, but they're there. It just gives it an amazing texture. And all of this food was grown local. I love this time of year where it's in the middle of summer here in Arkansas. It's my favorite time to go to the farmer's market. Delicious. So good. So here is our homemade lunch. It took less than an hour to whip this up, all from the farmer's market, so it's all local. I love eating local and in season when it's available. Tell me in the comments below, what's your favorite thing to eat locally where you're at? And also tell me what you would have done different or what you would have added to this meal. Thanks for joining me today in the kitchen. I really love seeing you here, and I'll see you next time. Be sure to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and hit that notification bell, and share Polistic Yoga channel with anybody you know that might be into holistic living or who is wanting to learn more how to cook. I'm going through these simple steps of showing you how to chop, how to boil, how to do these things, because unfortunately a lot of people don't know how to do that. So if you're already a seasoned cooker, you can just find inspiration for this channel, but maybe you have a team that's just going out on their own and you want to teach them how to cook. This is a great channel for them to subscribe to. I remember back in my food truck days, a new employee came in and we actually hired him just like on the spot. One of our employees called in, and so one of our employees said, "Hey, my brother can come in today." And he was chopping the onions and he was doing it with the skin on. So this was a grown man. So not everybody knows how to cook the basics. So that's what I'm showing you here is just the basics. How to cook quickly, easily, on a budget, and tasty. I love sharing these hacks with you. Thanks for tuning in today. Be sure to comment below. It really helps spread the message in the algorithm of holistic cooking, plant-based lifestyle. So if you support those ideas, be sure to comment and let me know. Your support really means the world. I'll see you next time. Namaste at the bowl.